I have something pretty special to show you today. I made my first purchase from Lombard Hobbies. I got a track gauge, complimentary track gauge and wheel gauge, and they sent me some gummies. But the real treat is right here. I've been in the hobby for 7 years, never owned a steam locomotive. I have considered it a few times. Athearn recently re-released this MT-4. It looks as if Athearn had upgraded the locomotive, and I thought maybe this is the one. Athearn says it'll run on a 22-inch radius curve. I have two curves on my layout that are 23 inches. Now I've just taken this out of the box. I haven't opened it yet, so we'll take a look at it together. Got the typical Athearn literature. So I'm not sure what this is yet. Maybe it's some numbers for the number board. I would guess that's probably what this is. Don't know. Athearn news. Looks like some sort of legal disclaimer. Looks like some sort of CV sheet for changing values. So this could be pretty handy. And then a manual for the Southern Pacific MT-4. A little bit of history. Parts breakdown. Part numbers. It's a pretty comprehensive manual. And maintenance. So it's a pretty nice manual. Oh, there it is. And 4357 was the one I wanted. The daylight paint on the tender and the cab looks pretty cool, but my layout just can't handle passenger cars. It's not that kind of layout. The radius of the curves is too small, and my layout is really too small for passenger cars. I have a 4-axle branch line layout, although recently I have purchased a couple 6-axle locomotives. So let's get this thing out of the packaging and just see what it looks like, because it's pretty exciting. Now, the MT-4 is an attractive locomotive. I especially like that skyline casing on it. And when I was looking for one of these, they have a few options, but I like the large Southern Pacific lettering on the tender, so it was one of the main factors in choosing this locomotive. Has a few brass features on the top. I don't know if that's just paint. I don't know anything about steam locomotives, so I can't tell you if it's accurate or really anything technical about it. So I'm just going to show it to you, and you can make your own judgment. Personally, to me, the detail level looks pretty nice. And if I don't know if something's wrong, well, then it can't bother me. That's one thing about being a model railroader at my level, where I don't really have that much knowledge of the prototypes. So if it looks really good, then I'm probably happy with it. Now it does have a loose part here in the back. I don't know if that's broken or if it's just come loose. I'll have to get it under a magnifying glass for me to tell. My eyesight's not very good. Panel line detail looks pretty good, and it does have some real fine features. Rivet detail looks nice. Before I get it out on the track, I'm going to want to figure out just what's going on back here. But I do want to run it, get it out on the track, and see if it'll work on my layout okay. Well, I found it to be a bit of a challenge to hook up, and I can't really tell if I have that plug in all the way or not. I got bad eyesight. I just can't even see it. So I'm going to put it on the layout. Hopefully I got it plugged in far enough. And I used some thin CA and glued that platform in place that was loose. So I'm going to get it up on the layout, and we're going to run it. The Athearn Genesis, Southern Pacific, MT-4. So what do I think? Well, it had a broken platform that was easily fixed with a drop of CA. It's really fast. It's way too fast. Now, I wouldn't run this probably over speed setting 20. And so the throttle has to be, the speed settings have to be adjusted. This thing's crazy. It's like supersonic. And in relation to that, its low speed performance is not good. When I put it on speed setting 1, it just lurches forward and it should just barely crawl. So the speed has to be adjusted on the locomotive. And, you know, I would cut the top speed down about 75%. Okay, so much for the negative. I love this locomotive. I absolutely love it. It runs fantastic. As I mentioned, I have 23-inch radius curves on my layout. I have 2 of them. And it handles them perfectly. This locomotive runs on my layout flawlessly. And I've run it for about an hour, and I just really enjoy watching it go around. One thing I like is it must sense current, because when it goes uphill, the chuff gets louder and it sounds like it's working hard. And the opposite is true. When it's descending, it freewheels and it barely chuffs at all. And I think that's amazing. You know, I'm at that point in the hobby, and, you know, pretty much in life, I'm an older guy, where I don't mind spending the money if I get what I expect to get. I get the level of detail I want, and it works the way it should. And if that happens, well, then I'm happy. And I love this locomotive. It is absolutely beautiful. Runs fantastic. Looks great. So I am very pleased with the purchase. And Lombard Hobbies had a pretty good price on it, so I'm going to take a look at Lombard Hobbies in the future. Just really pleased. So I think adjust the speed setting, and it's just about perfect. Well, thanks for watching. Athearn Genesis, Southern Pacific, MT-4. It's pretty sweet. Thanks again for watching.